By golly gee willikers, Batman, we're talking about Genshin Impact, baby! Yeah! That was cringe. Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about these banners for Xilonen and of course Venti, the bard, our favorite bard, you know. I just feel like talking about these banners because, well, surprisingly, I could probably say that this might be a good time to summon. I have an argument. I have an argument for it before anybody rips into me. I have an argument. So just hear me out before you do that. But of course, before we get into that, like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful good stuff. Don't forget to check out GamerSubs. Use code TYSTRA for 10% off. Today, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Didn't mean to hit you, baby. Today, we're macking on some, you know, pineapple cocktail and only fox mixture. It's pretty good. Delicioso. Just saying. Speaking of delicioso and something that's muy caliente, look at Xilonen, baby girl. Just saying. But yes, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into some Genshin Impact. Now, I do want to preface this that a lot of people have been getting on me about, you know, my negative comments. And I'm not being negative, I'm being more realistic with how I feel about the game. I do feel that the Genshin devs can do better. Granted, I will say that right now the Genshin devs are probably doing a little bit better than the Honkai Star Rail devs. You know why. But yeah, I will say Genshin is still a decent game, but I feel like it can do better. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that your game can do better, you know, especially if you love the game. So for all y'all that are getting mad at me for, you know, hating on the game, like, I'm just a disappointed parent. I just want it to do better. That's all I want, you know. Stop going and smoking a cigarette in the back of the church, you know, do your studies. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive in first. We're going to talk about Beidou. Now, Beidou, I will say, is something that we shouldn't be summoning for because, well, Beidou's been here since the beginning of the game, really. And Beidou is really not great in regards to combat ability right now. But again, Genshin Impact's in such a state where anybody can be great in combat ability if you just use them. I'm just saying, like, it's really easy to beat the bosses in the game. So, I'm just saying. But Beidou, overall, if you're thinking about summoning for her because you want to main her, you can. She's got counters, and her burst animation is pretty cool, and the burst in general works really well in regards to, you know, applying electro damage. But I do feel like with other 4 stars, there's better electro applicators like Kuki Shinobu. I think she's still one of the best ones out there. But yeah, overall, in regards to Beidou, she's not bad, right? She's just not great. So she's gonna get a thumbs down from me. It's a no from me, dog. Yanfei, Pyro DPS character, right? She's all right. She's got a little bit of a fun factor to her, in my personal opinion. I think that Yanfei in general isn't the best Pyro DPS, especially with the 5 stars that are out there. And I think that when you're looking for Pyro DPSs, you should just go for the 5 stars, because Arlecchino is one of the best characters in the game. And then you got Hu Tao, who's still really, really fun to use. Although her voice actor is kind of going weird lately. It's kind of, I don't know. But yeah, Yanfei is still pretty good though. If you don't have a 5-star Pyro DPS, you can build her really, really well, and she'll put out some damage. She'll put out some damage, right? So I'd give her a thumbs up. I think that she's still fine to summon for if you haven't C6'd her. But if you have C6 for her, like, you don't need any more of her, obviously. And that goes with any of these characters that we talk about, really. Like, if you C6'd any of them, there's no point in summoning, right? But let's talk about Faruzan, one that I have still yet to C6 because I've cut back on my summons, right? I did summon for Varissa, I did summon for Clevertainer, got both of them, got their weapons with the saved up Primo Gems that I had, so kudos. But yeah, so Faruzan is pretty good when it comes to your Animo teams. And the fact that we have Venti, she's going to help out Venti in regards to that. But I feel like she's more utilized in, like, let's say a Scaramouche team, Hazo team, Chaska team could work out too. I feel like that in general, she's just not the character that you're going to be summoning for in these banners, but she's still really, really good to have in general because of how good she is with her Animo counterparts. She's basically helping with Animo Shred, and I think that that's already a plus. So if you're going for Fodderzon, I don't blame you, because Fodderzon is still a really, really good character to have. Now, let's talk about Venti. I have a special place in my heart for Venti. Venti was the first character to come out, so it is with my honor that I say you should not be summoning on Venti right now. Let me clarify before all y'all get up mad on me, right? I believe that some of the recent stuff with Honkai Star Rail could be applied to Genshin Impact. Now, I know it's highly improbable that it's going to happen, right? But I feel like they could implement a kind of style to that. Say, I don't know, Skirk comes out, and Skirk is like, boom, she's right there. But they have a thing where it's like, oh, well, you could replace 3 of the standard banner characters for 3 of these limited characters, and you might get them instead. And guess who's probably going to be the first one that does that? Venti. Now, of course, this is just me saying that it's possible. It's probably not going to happen. But to be quite honest, when it comes to just in general, like, battle power, Venti is good, but not good. Like, Venti is a solid 6 out of 10, right? Venti is really good with crowd control. And I love using Venti for crowd control, but at the same time, like, I don't need crowd control when, you know, my other DPSs can crowd control just by killing everything in one hit. So, Venti had a place and time for him. And that's where I would be like, yes. Well, right now it's no. I'm tired of seeing Venti on these banners. I still am saying that they should just go on the standard banner. I don't care what anybody says. I get it. People are going to argue like, that's not fair to the people who summoned before and paid money for him. I paid money for him. And I'm saying they should do this because it would make more sense. Instead of rerunning 70 different characters somehow and making characters, oh, I don't know, like Shenhe, not come back on banners. But that's another tangent for another time. Overall, I'm saying you shouldn't summon for Venti right now. I don't think Venti is the right move for you. What I do think is the right move for you is Xilonen. And Xilonen is really good because if you like Kazuha and the way that he's able to shred, you're going to love Xilonen for the way that she's going to be able to shred. Now, of course, with newer teams, she's going to do a little bit better, in my personal opinion. But I do think that she has a place in all teams. Like, she works really, really well. I've used her in a Nuvolet Furina team with a combination of Raiden Shogun. I've used her in tandem with Arlecchino. I've used her in tandem with freaking Chaska. I've used her in tandem with Malvika and Silali. Like, she works with whatever you're going to put her in my personal opinion. That's just me. I think she's an S tier character. So if you're not summoning for her, I think you're missing out. And in my opinion, she's going to trump whatever's coming in the next patch. That's just my personal opinion, though. So overall, should you summon on the Venti banner? No. Venti gets a thumb down. Don't summon on the Venti banner. Venti's cool. Venti's a great character. One of my favorite characters. But in all actuality and practical sense, unless you're doing it for collection purposes, you don't really need him on your team. Especially with the new DPSs coming out. Should you summon for Xilonen? Yes. I think that Xilonen's great. Getting that C6 Fodderzon could really help you out. Yanfei can be a fun Pyro DPS. And if you do have Beto, or if you don't have Beto and you get Beto through here, like, you get something to have that Electro Applicator. So you got some stuff that you could work with. And that's going to be it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for Xilonen or Venti. I would love to hear y'all's opinions on this. But that's going to be it today. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.